We've left Shakhtar Donetsk and we have come to the final corner of Europe.
Oh, yes!
Hello and welcome to Gran Canaria, to the Canary Islands, and welcome to Las Palmas. We have made it here. We've left Shakhtar Donetsk and we have come to the final corner of Europe. We've come to the south of Europe into the Canary Islands, an island that is like 2 hours away from Spain or something like that. It's the furthest distance, I think. I'm fairly certain between like the two furthest distances are Las Palmas and Shakhtar. It's over like 4,000 kilometers or something like that. A crazy distance, and we have come here ready to go and get underway in our time here with the Spanish team into La Liga. In today's episode, we're gonna, outline our intentions, what we want to do. Obviously, the goal, and that is to win the Europa League with this team. But we want to outline our intentions going forward, a bit of a plan, and look at the team that we've inherited and stuff like that. So obviously La Liga, we come into this with this team with the ability to be able to create our own any type of football. It can be a custom style or any type, because we said at every single club that we've gone to we will try different type of football. So far we've done everything that we've needed to, counter attacking with Santa Clara, possession with KA, tiki taka with Tromso, and finally Gegenpressing with Shakhtar. Now we come here and we can play whatever we want. The tactic I've opted for initially is basically what we did at Shakhtar. That's what I want to do. You'll see the squad that we inherit, but in terms of the actual type of football we play, I want to play that because there's a big emphasis on these Spanish clubs. Quite in a team that can be quite possession based. That's the focus for a lot of them. Possession based, fast passing, and advancing in that way. What I want to do is I want to be quite structured in the defense, but if we have to press that ball to close it down, that was what was in my first tactic, but I've decided to go with this. If it means that we have to really press that ball, but cut off the passing lanes and set up well in terms of how we defend, then I think that's the way to go forward with this squad. And then attacking wise, I think we want to be really fluent, fast, and just really go at teams, really attack at them and see what we can do. So I think that's the tactics we go for. It's quite a standard tactic, but particularly in this first season, whilst we settle in, I think that's what we want to do. It's going to be a very, very tough and competitive season in La Liga. I think La Liga is actually going to be tougher than the Europa League, to be honest. I mean, if we go and take a look at the Europa League and the teams that are in there, it feels like teams I'm fairly certain we should be able to get results against. I mean, you can see them here. It is definitely teams we can get results against, but we need to beat La Liga first, which contains teams, some of the best teams in the Champions League, which we face, which include Barcelona, Valencia, Sevilla there, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Real Betis, who the reason we have managed to get this job, I've not actually got into it, is because Valverde took the Real Betis job and it opened up. How lucky is that that's happened? They must have known, the gods must have known. We took it straight away and they took us in, and we're there. Girona are up there, Real Sociedad have had a bit of a slow start, but they're there, and also Athletic Bilbao. It's going to be a very, very tough season. So in this first season, it's probably just a case of getting a mid-table finish, just easing in, and then the next year potentially contesting for that top six, and then by the third season we have to be getting into that top six spot. As I say, it might be a very long process, the 6 years in European football, because with us there's no guarantee. There is no guarantee like at Shakhtar that we get into European football. So it would be nice to get the 6 years in the European football when we make it, but there might be inconsistencies. I think it might be easier, so we're looking at around 10 years here. It will be quite a long process, so you have to stick around for it, but we are going to complete what will be an incredible job at the corners of Europe Challenge, and then we move on to upgrading and improving the channel. And trust me, you want to stick around for that, but you've got to be patient now. It's going to be an exciting time playing all these league games. We haven't seen league games in what feels like months, to be honest. We've just seen European football, tough games, but now we're going to have to grind it out in La Liga with a team who are expected to finish, I don't know what position are they? They expected to finish in 11th place, so a mid-table finish. It's going to be tough, but we have to go and get used to this type of football, see how it goes, and ultimately come away with the result that we want. The best player in La Liga, Julio Ochoa. How is he do? He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. He's developed into an incredible player, but he has not won the Champions League. I don't think. If we go and take a look at Barcelona, he hasn't won the Champions League. It's so sad. If he'd have stayed, yeah, he hasn't. If he'd have stayed, he would have come and won the Champions League with us. But what can you do? I'm sure he'll win it, but it's just a shame that he didn't stay for winning it with us. Now, if you're interested in how it's going at Shakhtar, who has inherited the job, a very, very good replacement. It's Xavi, of all people. Speaking of Barcelona, he's appointed Zeldin Rust as captain. Lozano stays as vice captain. Some of the roles have changed of some of the players. If we go and take a look, Shevchenko has been downgraded to a squad player, which is understandable. But I would have liked to have him to stay a good player. He's re-signed a new contract though, which is good. That means he's staying around at the club. Maybe we can sign him at the end of his career, something like that. Redenko's a starter. I think that was already like that. But apart from that, the squad looks the same. They haven't really sold anyone or brought in anyone else apart from no, that is literally it. That is literally everything that's happened. Their transfer window's closed, and they are ready to go for another season and hopefully go on and contest for that Champions League title once again. We left Javi with lots of money and a very, very good squad. Now, in terms of us, the reason why we're actually financially very rich, that is because I don't know if I can how you see it. It's in the history landmarks. They had a tycoon takeover, if I'm not mistaken. If we go and take a look and try and find it, they did have a big takeover. I'm not sure where it is though, but they had a. Here we are. It's a tycoon takeover, so they became very, very rich just last year. I thought it had been for a few years, but no, they had a tycoon takeover. Saleh Al Kawari became the chairman of the club. He's given us a bit of money, not loads of money, but in the last transfer window they had quite an investment. If you're going to take a look here, 35 million they spent. Hopefully we can get that next year and go and spend it a little bit better. Now, in terms of the squad we have inherited, it's not the best squad. Let's just put it that way. There's two names you will be familiar with. One of them being Ertzi Arana. Now, if you watch the early days with Shakhtar, he was there. I remember him scoring in the Champions League in a few games. He went to Espanyol and then got a big move to Las Palmas. That was when they didn't have a tycoon owner and they were still putting up money like that. So he's looked like a very good player over the years, and it's a good signing to make. 32 years old now, so hopefully we can get a few more years out of him before he kind of slows down a bit. Here, if we take a look, he got one continental goal and 2 goals in the league there, as you can see. I think I have a feel I don't know who it was against, but he definitely did score quite a big goal for us in the Champions League. Looks like a very good player. And the other player that he's a bit more special to is Ustin Gilia. He's the vice captain of this team actually. We developed him. He had 119 league games with Tromsø 4 years, and ultimately he won that Conference League title. So he's got European experience. He's played nearly 300 games for Las Palmas. He's been in 9 years or 8 years, I should say. At the prime of his career, a very, very good player that we've managed to bring in. But apart from that, it's a decent squad. 3 stars is the what we're looking at, and the age of the squad is there's some aging players, especially some of the good players, but we've got a decent squad that we've inherited, and I definitely think there's potential to work on with this squad. If we look at the best players that we've got, Juan Manuel Royo, he comes in as a midfielder, can play in various different roles, looking like a good player. We've got Claudio Barrienuevo, who is a Argentinian goalkeeper and international for them, is looking like a decent player overall. We might try him in this sweeper keeper role because it might be the way to go. It might be an interesting role that we can try and make up a kind of a back three, potentially how it would work with him. We've got Yeremy Moral, who is another centre back, so we've clearly got decent defenders. Armic, who is a left winger. Anyone else of interest? Arana's a really good player. Clement Saiss, who is a left back, can also play centre back. He's been a good player at the start for us, but you can see that some of our good players are, quite aging a bit. Arana at 32, Saiss at 31, Barrienuevo. We need to get those. We need to get those good games out of them now. The experience out of them now before they go on and slow down a little bit. In terms of our start to the league, 3-1-0 loss losses. We didn't play this Real Madrid game, but yeah, 3-1-0 losses. I think we've not been bad defensively. Obviously, we've conceded 3 goals. The issue is we just haven't put in good attacking displays. These teams have been really good against us. Today, we're going to come up against Atletico Madrid. We go to the Metropolitano, an amazing stadium. Hopefully, we can get a result, but there's no guarantees. In the next few games after that, we have a decent bag of games. I don't think there's an easy game in La Liga. That's the thing. But there's definitely games where you can take points from, and we have to take points from if we want to get that mid-table finish this year. That's definitely the goal for us going forward here. In this season, we just need to get a few more goals. But this team is still gelling. They're getting used to the tactics, and I'm sure it'll come. The results will start coming. We just need to keep the morale high before it gets to a point where it's quite bad. As you can see, it's not the worst. We've got some morale issues like Martin Pedraza, who the transfer window's closed now, and we couldn't get a move for him. No one wanted to come in for him, and I'm happy to let him go, but he's with the squad, but I'd play him. I would play him. We've got Arana, who's decent, definitely a good player, but he wanted to leave. I said offers. I mean, we can get an intermediary for him, but some of these offers are not very good at all. We'll have to see, but. We'll see how it goes. It's just these morale issues, stuff like that, are a bit of a problem at the moment. Let's just get into a bit of football. The first game of our reign here in Las Palmas, we go to the Metropolitano against Atletico Madrid. So our first ever 11 here at Las Palmas starts with Barrio Nuevo in goal. We've got a backline of Saiz, Moral, Gilia and Huerta. Perez, Espinoza in the middle. Royo plays in the hole. We've got Paz and Alonso on the wings and Urtiarano up top. Kick off here in this game against Atletico Madrid. It's going to be a tough game. It's a bit of a humbling experience because we've come to the Wanda Metropolitano. It was called the Wanda Metropolitano. Now it's called when it was sponsored by that. Now it's like the Riyadh Air Metropolitano. The Civitas Metropolitano is the official name, or just the Metropolitano. We've come here before and we've got results against this Atletico Madrid team. We got them at the very start, and then we played them a few years after, like 2 years ago I think it was, but now we're here. Royo's in behind here, in the hole. Can he advance and get a shot away? It's a save from the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper there in the early moments. Nice to see that. We're getting a few chances away. It's exactly what we need. We came here 2 years ago, but now, we used to be able to beat them with our super team. Now we come with a completely new team who we're not used to, and we'll just have to see. It's completely different. It's a completely different dynamic. The press have been saying that I'm taking a step back in my career. Arguably, I'm not. Why? I don't see how, because we're trying to build something here, and that's the case. We are. And there's so many familiar faces these days. Is that Amaro Atari? Yeah, it is. Wearing number 7 for Atletico Madrid. We remember we sold him to Real Madrid, and now he's gone there. Arana's in behind here. Arana with an early chance, he puts it wide. Nice play though from us early on. Obviously, we're playing similar to how we did with Shakhtar, but it's a 4-2-3-1 now, so we have that player in the hole. I think it's better because we can match a lot of teams in La Liga, how they play. We can match their formation a lot better, and I think it's just good to have those kind of holding players. We set up well defensively, but we can also play those triangles in the bid that we go on and find either the player in the middle, the striker, who is Arana, or we find it would be Royo in this instance, but whoever it is, to find that second ball. Now, one thing that's changed on the tablet is we see the pass map of Atletico Madrid. That's kind of good because we can see the structure and how they're setting up and see potentially areas that we can exploit. I think that's a good thing. It replaces our lineup, which we kind of already know. It's nice to see the lineup, but I guess we could actually change their lineup instead of ours, so we can see our players' energy and kind of visualize a little bit better, because we'd see their formation anyway. We're not particularly looking at their formation, but we're not particularly looking at ours. I guess it's something we'll just have to get used to. But one thing this team will have to get used to is playing this football. I've just flicked a button there. Back to Omar Watara. I think also, I don't know if he is playing or not. Yeah, he is. Marcel is here. Obviously did a season on loan with us. It was not last season, the year before that season, in between the 2 finals, he did a season with us, but now he has returned. It's nice to see that we kind of kick-started his career back into a starting position here with Atletico Madrid, and it would be nice to go and beat him and get that one up on a former player of ours, but it looks like Atletico Madrid are going to end this half with their fair share of chances. We've not been too good defensive. The most of our, I think all of our goals have come from set pieces, not like defending set pieces in headers. That's an example there. At the near post, we're doing most of our defending. I've not got the responsibilities, but that's what we're trying to do. I think loose balls, the way we've defended them has not been good at all, and if it persists I will obviously take it back. But I've said, near post striking or near post attacking on corners definitely the way to go. We swore out while it worked with our former players. Cortazar, speaking of him, he is a player who was so good at those headers. He is a Las Palmas Academy graduate, and so many top elite players have come from this academy in recent years. Now, I'd like to see some of them myself. I've not actually really looked at the academy, and I'm sure we'll have some under 19s games or whatever the age category here is. But I'd like to see some of them myself, and then we can get them into this team. There's a big emphasis on developing under 18s under 23s players I should say, and you can see why, because it's worked so well for them and it's led to a lot of profit as well, so hopefully we can find some players like that and they can come into this team as Atletico Madrid open the scoring here. It's going to be 4 out of 4 losses to start off our time here with Las Palmas, which is not ideal, but the thing that I've struggled with is definitely getting this tactic nailed on. We've with this job here that we have at Las Palmas, we said from the very start that we will play custom football whatever we want. We'll basically bond all the tactics that we've used so far and try and create something. But I think that gave me a lot of I wasn't uncertainty probably as to how I would set up, and now we've decided this is what we'll go with. But the boys need to settle into it. There's not been too much time to do that. I'm not even too sure about it just yet, but there'll be time to get used to all the boys and stuff like that. We had a bad start in Europe with Shakhtar. We made that playoff and then obviously lost to Atletico Madrid, but in the league it was a bit different. But I think give us these first few seasons in La Liga, then in the Europa League, I think we should be a very, very good team, because if we can make top 6 in La Liga, then we're a very good team. We should be a very good team in the Europa League, because this league is just so competitive these days. It's only second to the Premier League as ever, but the Premier League as well is incredibly competitive. You see teams like Brighton in the Europa League, Southampton won the Conference League, just so many different teams who do well. And it's going to be tough to get out of La Liga. It was tough when I managed here with Real Sociedad to make the Champions League spots, but we have to go on, and it's a part of the challenge. It's definitely a part of the challenge. I said the toughest job would be Shakhtar. I don't think it was that tough. I'm happy we've left now, because I think the toughest thing was managing the squad. So many big names. It was such a headache sometimes, especially during transfer windows. Like, for example, when Lin left, he still wanted to leave, even though we were the best team in Europe. I know I said that yesterday, but it's crazy that's a thing. It is crazy that's happened, and we luckily we don't have to deal with that now. So many big names. Here it's a bit different. Maybe the tough thing will be getting out of La Liga and getting into those top 6 spots. As the full time whistle goes, it's our 4th 1-0 loss, and it's not meant to be here in the Metropolitano. So once again, thank you for watching. If you did enjoy that video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll leave you with this little tune, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.